Oh my God, a lot going on. I got a lot going on in my background today. That's annoying, you see? Yeah. So anyway, shout out to that, child. It is what it is, because I had to get here, you see? Like, I ain't had nothing to drink this morning, too much of nothing, nothing, nothing. But I had to come do our recap, okay? So shout out to that. Listen up, Pooper Stars. It's your girl, Shay Renee, and I want to welcome everybody back to my channel. I'm back to a new show and video. Now, listen. Oh, my God. Child, we get to the bottom of shit. Easy. Yeah, for real, for real. We are starting to get to the bottom of things, for real, for real. Like, this case and trial is almost over. And it's crazy because it's like, I don't know. It's taking up, I told y'all, this Diddy trial was taking all of my energy. And it was. I said it just absolutely was. You know what I'm saying? Yes. But let me tell y'all something. Friday, or rather Saturday morning. Yeah, shout out to that. Your girl Shay Renee, I took a breather, okay? I took a breather. I took a break. And now we back. It just is what it is. We back. And I felt like my audience, okay? Because, like, yeah, I know, listen, everybody and their mama, okay? Yeah, shout out to that. Shout out to them. Shout out to their mamas. Is reporting on the case. You see, my mama included. Hey, mama, shout out to you, too. And I almost said my mama name, but I ain't gonna do my mama like that. I love her, you see. I love her. That's my girl. Yeah. When I say her name, I like saying her first name and her middle name. So shout out to her. But anyway, what was I saying? Child, listen, we talking court, okay? See, we talking court. And shout out to everybody who took my poll, okay? I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And it seems like everybody is 50-50, okay? It was split down the middle. Like a good sandwich, you know. Your sandwich is gonna be good when you cut it. So shout out to that. But anyway, everybody is 50-50 split on if they feel like Diddy them is winning or the feds are winning. I'm gonna let y'all know what I think in the end. Let me write that in. Y'all know I always, usually in the end, I like to save my final thoughts, okay, for the end of the show. So shout out to that. I got some final thoughts. Let me go ahead and write that in. I'll tell y'all in the end who I think is winning, okay? Like I said, I already did a poll. So anyway, we just gonna dive right into it. So Janice comes to court. Okay, y'all. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. I know that's right. I know that's right. Shout out to you and shout out to that. Hit the like button. Good morning. And now it's us. You see, I said, you see, like Cassie said. Hold on. Wait. You just wait. Right there. You see, hold on. Yeah, I said the team is scraping and scrambling in court. Okay, this is what it is. So anyway, listen, y'all. So in court on Friday was Janice Combs. Okay, Janice Combs. Yes, baby. She came to court. It is what it is. I got a lot of, I'm like, okay. You see, Janice is doing what any mother would do. She's there for Diddy. You see, so shout out to that. I know that's right. I know that's right. Shout out to you for subscribing and jumping in my comments. That's VIP treatment right there. Okay, I mean MVP. So shout out to that. Now listen, the mama is in court. All right, she was in court Friday. No, I didn't see no kids. I just saw the mama. Okay, she hopped out in the Suburban, different wig, ready to go sit up in court. Okay, and hear everything that's going on. So listen, they got um Brendan. Okay, Brendan Powell on the stand. Now, why we've been I want to hear from Brendan. Why I do not know. Okay, yeah, Brendan got up there, and I literally forgot why everybody wanted to hear from him in the first place. Mm. He got up there, wasn't talking about nothing. You see, somebody type nothing in the comments. Yeah, I'm just gonna need y'all to type nothing in the comments. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, AJ. Good morning, all of y'all. Shout out to y'all for jumping in my comments. Don't forget, you see, to subscribe, okay? Mm, mm. I'm gonna need you to subscribe so we can have a funky good time together. It just is what it is. Now listen, we going over the Diddy case and what happened on Friday, because y'all know I gotta get my audience up to speed, okay? Because listen, court will be in session on Monday, and like, yeah, that's in a second, all right? So yeah, let's get through this. Now anyway, Brendan, they got Brendan Powell on the stand. He talking about he got the job. He got the job through another assistant. Okay, another assistant. Um, so like word of mouth, and I was like, okay, I like that. You see, I like that. I think when you're hiring, word of mouth type of hiring is effective. You know. Hey. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Is Diddy winning? Is Diddy winning the case, or do the feds take it? I said, are they just taking it? Uh, mm, like Diddy wanted them to. Remember, he said, take that. You see. But anyway, I like that. I like the fact that, like, yeah, he was just like, listen, do you know somebody that knows somebody? You know, as far as the job goes. Because when it comes to Diddy, we all know Diddy needs somebody that is with the shits. You see, yes, you just you're gonna have to be. I said you're gonna have to be with the shits. Um and remind you, that's why all of his people, I mean all of his people, it seemed like every last assistant that then came through here said that they do Adderall. Mm, mm. I'm like, oh, ah, you see, you're gonna have to be just a junkie. It just is what it is. Like to some type of degree. You know, it just is what it is to keep up with Diddy. Okay. When I say every assistant, they be on cocoa and they be on Adderall. Okay. It just is what it is. I said like, and then we all know Adderall is just like to me a prescription version of I don't know, out of, the street stuff. If you take some of the, you know what I'm saying, other stuff out, it's to me it's like a prescribed version of you know, cocoa, if you will. Um, but anyway, Brendan testified that he initially got hired and started working at the LA house. Okay, so Brendan was in LA mainly. And Lord, he had me laughing and rolling and laughing and rolling because he said one of the first things he was doing was breaking down gunship. I said, what? I said, take the what and leave the what? Yeah, today gonna be a good day. Like Ice Cube said, Brendan said the very first thing they had him doing in the garage was dealing with the smoke. I was like, oh my God, is you for real? Like, I said, what kind of smoke? You see, I said, just what kind of smoke, Brendan? Uh, yeah, because you know, inquiring minds want to know. It just is what it is. We always be wanting to know, you know. if the rich and famous be on the, you know what I'm saying? It's just what it, we been wanting to know what they be on. And so shout out to that. I said, do share your details, okay, Mr. Powell, you see? But anyway, Brendan said his job outside of, you know, messing with the ganja and the different strands would be he will handle fitness for Puff, like fitness and plans. He dealt with travel and he dealt with packing. Okay. He also would get the hotels rooms ready for the freak house. We all know that already. Um, he said he would like stuff cones. Okay, again, I told y'all, you got to be with the shit to work for Diddy, okay? Mm, mm. You can't be a square. It just is what it is. You're not gonna be able to be a square and be there, okay? So yeah. He said he was paid $75K a year. He was a youngster making that kind of money. 75K a year, which eventually went on to a band, a whole 100K, which it seems like that was Diddy's, you know. I heard somebody say they made 150, but for the most part, you know, that was really his cap, you know, or like his offer. That's what he liked to offer people. He got paid every 2 weeks, and he would live in Airbnbs near Diddy, okay, real close to Diddy. Airbnbs is kind of expensive, and in LA. It just made me wonder, you know, it just made me wonder, like, Stevie, was he like, did he have to pay his Airbnb, you know, rent, or was Diddy paying for that? Because you just never know. It seems like with Diddy, he would pay people rent as well. So that's crazy. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? He testified he was making a little bit, you know, over $4,000 working with Diddy monthly. 80 to 100 hours a week, though, okay? Yes, Diddy had him scraping and scrambling, all right? For them funds. It just is what it is. That's what that is. Yeah, shout out to Sean David Way, because that's what that were. Now, he said, Diddy like Sunset Sherbert. Okay, for inquiring minds, for everybody that want to know what type of strand did he be on. Okay, he be on Sunset Sherbert. Yeah, out there in Cali. And he also testified to Diddy being on Cialis, which I had to look up. Yeah, I didn't know what that was. I said I didn't know what that were. Okay, but according to, you know, my investigation, it's basically like Viagra. Okay, it's another, you know. Okay, and I'm like, no, why they telling us that? You know, his lawyers is trying to make it seem like he can't really get it up. So why y'all got him in court? But that ain't gonna work. You see, because Diddy, he working on breaking it. We get that. You see, but it ain't broke. It ain't broke. It ain't broke just yet. So nice try, attorneys. Brendan Powell also testified to Diddy having 2 phones. Okay. Yes, like Kevin Gates. All right, he had 2 phones. Now he basically, y'all in court calling him a crime boss. So we know he had something. All right. Now we know he had 2 phones though. He had a red one for personal, a yellow one for business. His team was very organized. That's basically what I'm getting, okay, from Brendan Powell's testimony. They were very organized and on board. A little too organized and a little too on board with the freak house, okay? It just is what it is. That's why they all in court today with immunity. Everybody except for Diddy, because he wants to testify. I mean, Diddy wants to plead not guilty. After all of this, you see, that's what he want to say, that he ain't guilty. Baby, they was on board. They was on board and they was too organized. Like I said, these people was helping with the setup. They was helping with the setup. And that's why Diddy in court right now. To everybody who keeps saying, you know, that like this was just some regular stuff. No, y'all. No. Okay? Like, okay, in my honest opinion, no. Okay? I'm going by the facts too. This wasn't them ordinary people that John Legend was talking about, okay? It's just like, so anyway, let's continue. These people will be in position. You see, from start to finish, they was involved. They would help with the setup. They would pick up money. They would drop off money. Shoot, Brendan Paul even testified that he would help with outfits. Yeah. At some point, you know. Now, he said Puff would flake on him, but still, okay? He would get text messages from Puff telling him to go pick up lingerie, you know, for Jane and whatnot. And he testified to this. Now, he also testified, yeah, he spilled right here. This is about the only thing that he spilled. Okay, this was like prosecution. We could have did without Brendan. Okay, it just is what it is. We could have did without Brendan. Just keeping it real. We already knew Brendan went to jail. Let me just stay focused here, okay? He spilled. He said that when Cassie's lawsuit came out, they ditched the rooms. You see, they went scraping and scrambling, and Diddy now had to start doing the freak offs at his house, which, truth be told, he should have been doing that. You know, well, first of all, he should have been doing the freak offs at all. Okay, can we start there? Yeah. Shout out to that. I said you're gonna have to be able to handle the truth on my channel. Okay. He shouldn't have been doing it from the beginning. But if he was going to do it, he should have been doing it at his house. You see, because the feds then found the whole paper trail. Okay, a whole paper trail leading straight to your ass. You see. Oh yes, Miss Presser Curl, like the daddy said on Friday. And now you got to worry about the dog catching your ass. You see. Oh, and he coming. It just is what it is. He coming, Diddy. So anyway, run. Fahim and KK. That's mainly who he dealt with. Fahim and KK. Fahim was over security. Now, remind you, this is crazy. See, Diddy been doing crimes for so long. Well, I hate to put it like that. Let me just go back. Let me just put it a different way. He been in business so long, you see, and sticking to a same routine. His same routine. But one thing that has been changing is his staff. You see, yeah. That's why they not talking about D-Rock and all of them no more. Speaking of which, Gene. You see, Gene. I gotta call Gene to the scene. With my little gangster name. Shout out to that. But Gene, you be heavily involved, and don't nobody ever say your name. Like nobody ever says your name. And I understand. You see, got good damn sense. I understand very well that like you was around when Kim Porter was around, so I mean, it's just old and ancient. Man, it's just old and ancient. Ancient. Yeah, I know what I'm trying to say. You see? It's the past. For real. So Gene, like, really, I don't know how to explain it, but like, he just come off like he need to let it burn. I mean, it just is what it is. But I can't knock Gene. He know what he know. But I just feel like he's telling these old, ancient stories. You see? Because his time then came and went. This man that had so many people come after Gene, okay? So anyway, right now, it's for him over security. KK still around. KK been there. KK need a little bit more than immunity. I don't even think they was gonna offer her that. You see? Um, in fact, I think they offering KK some jail time. It just is what it is. Anyway, they asked him, like, so when it comes to the freak out stuff, how do you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know what to get? He said it was a document. I said, oh Lord, not okay. It was a shared document. You know what I'm saying? Amongst the staff. He went off of the grocery list, okay, if you will, or the freak off list of things to go get. I said, oh Lord, I now listen. I know a lot of them people's like, I didn't come this far. You see? Yeah, I ain't come this far in life to be the manager over baby oil. Okay? Yeah, because they all had, it just is what it is. They all had, you know, something to do. And I said I could see why he had so many assistants. You know what I'm saying? Because with the help of KK was like, I be damned. You know? I'm not running around for baby oil. You see? She got her some little runners for that. It just is what it is. Yeah, they had a house manager. Who was over the Astroglide? The house manager. So, my. Where's Johnny Gill? You see? Yeah, I was like, you know, Diddy was just, he was just, you see, like, I mean, like Nipsey Hussle said, dedication. Yes, in my Nipsey Hussle voice, that man was dedicated. He was dedicated to some Astro Grind. He was dedicated to some baby oil, and he was dedicated to them freak offs. Oh yes, Miss Preston Girl, let's talk about it. He was too locked in. It sank the whole empire. It just is what it is. Sank the whole empire. Diddy, throw down your wallet. You see? Throw down the wallet, man. You standing in a burning building. Anyway, they all had freak off duties. Everybody. So Jane saying that she was embarrassed about the staff knowing. Baby, they knew. Okay? It just is what it is. They knew, and they even told jokes. KK said, I'm not about this life no more, though. And I thought to myself, what the hell did the kids think? They probably grew up around baby oil and seeing baby oil so much that it was just like normal to them. Okay, absolutely normal. But in the LA home, they had Astroglides so organized, you know, like paint in the garage. I'm like, what? What the hell did the kids think? It just is what it is. Like, Diddy, I really believe that, like, them kids had other residents. You know, like, they live somewhere else, like they said they did. I believe that they wasn't at that house like that. You see, and I'll take it a step further. It was probably like, this your daddy wing of the house. Staff probably kept them the hell away from it. You see, the garage was probably on Diddy wing of the house too. I'm just convinced. So they asked him, when you got arrested, was the cocoa on you yours or Diddy's? It was Diddy's. He testified that as far as his knowledge, Jane was the only person who participated in in freak house. Okay, uh, which made me wonder: do the feds have any type of, you see, like what do they know? Because I feel like the feds will know. It just is what it is. Y'all know how I keep saying that I feel like Diddy had Young Miami doing freak offs too? The feds know that. I feel like they know that. They will have, you see, some type of evidence because they've been here, there, everywhere, okay, to get the tea. Like your girl, okay, Shay Renee. It just is what it is. But anyway, so then Diddy's lawyer got on there and he started asking him, just like, hey, are you a mule? No. Just flat out, I'm not. Did you have other responsibilities outside of that? Yes. Okay, we know you did. We know you did. Because you definitely had to go get more oil. You see? Yeah. Yeah. Listen, this was Bad Boy / Slip and Slide Records. Yeah, it just is what it is. Y'all might as well been, y'all might as well try to pay some type of cut for that, cause like, yeah, you was going to get the baby oil. You was gonna have to. They asked him, was he ever fired? He said yes. Diddy fired him one time because he forgot to get Diddy's fanny pack. Okay, a particular fanny pack. Lululemon. That's what they said. This man had all different types of fanny pack. This one in particular is the one he liked to go for a walk with, which I understand. Shout out to that. I got a fanny pack from when I walk. I said, but wait a minute. He should have got fired when he took a picture of the Tusi. You see? Yeah. You didn't took a picture of shit that you should be taking a picture of. That's what he should have got fired for. I said, so Diddy was just all the time, you see? Just walking around ass backwards, just doing everything ass backwards. Yeah. Just straight ass forward. And again, he had to shop for clothes sometimes, even though he testified that Diddy left him hanging. He did. He had to go get something for the lady. Okay, something for the lady to prance around in. So again, Rico. Okay. He asked, did Jane ever look hesitant around you, Brendan? No. Which I'm like, Jane ain't gonna look hesitant around nobody. It just is what it is. Like what part of these bitches want to be around? You see, what part of that is it they getting? I mean, I guess the defense get it. They trying to drive that home though. Would have kept working for Diddy if you knew anything criminal was going on? No. Now I don't know if I believe it. You see, I'm sorry, I just don't know if I believe that. It could be true though. That's what he testified to. He said no. But this is the thing. You down with everything else. But I guess you draw the line at, women being whatever against a 100% consent, Cause I think what a lot of people don't get is coercion is a thing too. You see? It is. So like these women have testified that like, yes, I did it. But it wasn't 100% consensual because I didn't 100% want to do it. Does that make sense? Like, I did it because I didn't want to deal with him being mad. You know what I'm saying? I did it because, again, like I said, I wanted to be around. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was part of our relationship. Now I know a lot of people feel like that's legal. but it's not. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that it's not. Um, it's not. And so then if you mix that with the fact that like you're paying for it, it's a crime. It just is what it is. It's a crime, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. It's just like it's the people that act so confused for me, you know? But I listen, one thing about me, I cannot listen. I like to keep it moving. I do. I like to keep it moving. I don't like to feel stagnant. So it is what it is. You know, I can only explain it so many times. And then if you keep acting like you still confused or you keep acting like you don't get it, then it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You choosing to believe what you choosing to believe. And like that, I just have to rock with. It is what it is. But no, she wasn't gonna show that she was hesitant in front of staff. She wasn't, because to me she was too afraid to lose. She was too afraid to, you know, be kicked out, canceled out, replaced, if you will. It just is what it is. Homeless, kicked to the curb. But yeah, him saying, I was like, nah, I side-eyed that. I had to side-eye you, Brendan. I don't know. I don't know about that. But they was going on vacation the day that he got locked up. And I thought it was interesting that he said he never, ever heard from Diddy again. Like, never. Okay? Um, that was crazy. Now, hold on. So, that was that. And again, I don't know. Like, his testimony was just like, I don't know. It was all right. He added what he added, but he didn't add much, if that makes sense. I can't even call that the cherry on top. You know, that was more like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He added what he added, I guess. That was like, you know how people like to go out to eat and then they'll add more seasoning to what the people already put because they feel like the people didn't put enough. Like, that's what he did. He added a little extra flavor, you see, to the testimony that was already out there. But it wasn't much. It just is what it is. It wasn't much. You know, to me, Brendan want to be cool. You know, he still want to be cool. It just is what it is. He testified that he, you know, like he did rhymes with Ruggs. He got on it and stuff like that around Diddy, with Diddy, around Diddy, you know, to prove his loyalty. When he went to jail, he didn't tell them that that it wasn't his. It was that it was Diddy's because he said he did it out of loyalty. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it shows. He still kind of half-ass want to be loyal in the courtroom. I mean, it is what it is. He didn't want to come off like a snitch to me. But I'll talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more in my final thoughts. He wasn't no big nothing. No. You know, I think the mule thing had people thinking like he was just this big. No, he wasn't. He was just a little runner. You know what I'm saying? If you will, for Diddy. And so then after he got off the stand, they went ahead and started showing text messages to the jury between Cassie and Diddy, okay? And they was just going back and forth. To summarize it real quick and real cute, like they were at their end. You know what I'm saying? Because I keep wondering, like, what was Cassie's last straw? You know? And basically, I think it was I don't know. You know, I really don't know. But I can say, like, these text messages is from 2017, you know, and Cassie left a year later. So, like, I feel like it was getting bad. If that makes sense. They started out text messages where she telling Diddy, you beat my butt. You beat my butt. And he telling her you was crazy for flipping on me. And Cassie was basically saying, like, I'll come back, if you want me to. But she was like, I'll fight. She said, you treat me like a hooker, to be honest. You always call one. You always need one. You always have one. And this one been here for 10 years. Diddy was like, wow. He didn't even have nothing to say to that. She basically was tired of Diddy putting his hands on her, y'all. For real. Like, that's what these text messages was about. That's all she wanted to talk about. And she even told KK too. She was telling him he be getting messed up, dragging her down the highway. She was basically checking him. She said, I am 30 years old. This ain't for play no more. I said, okay, yeah, Cassie was tired. You see, it just is what it is. She was tired. And I'll take it a step further. It seemed like she was possibly working with the police, but I don't know. The only reason why I say I don't know is because I really don't know. One. And then two, I don't know if the police would involve somebody in their investigation like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I don't know if they would take the risk of her telling Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Just some kind of way. So I don't know. But I know she was fed up. You could tell. And Diddy would respond every time with stuff like, basically it was her fault. And she deserved it for being ungrateful. And you can tell, because I'm paraphrasing now, I'm summarizing, because I didn't feel like going through all of them texts like that and writing all of that text down. You see, because we getting to the end, and like, which means we kind of like getting back to our lives again, like life before Diddy went on trial. And we touching grass again. It just is what it is. So I'm summarizing. You could tell she was trying to get through to Diddy. Yeah. She was. You could tell. I also think that, like, you can tell, too, that this is around the time she was dealing with Alex. And, like, she was just coming to realization. You know what I'm saying? Some type of realization of what she really had with Diddy. You see, talking about, like, you treated me like a hooker. You know what I'm saying? You basically treat me like a hooker. You know what I'm saying? You've been treating me like a hooker for 10 years. You see, talking like that and stuff, it's like, yeah. Miss Preston Girl, she was really on her way out the door. It just is what it is. And it seemed like Diddy could tell, too. But he wasn't willing to give her what she wanted. He wasn't. You could tell. She wanted Diddy to quit putting his hands on her and quit treating her like a hooker. He wasn't giving in to that. He just was telling her that she was crazy and that she was being a bitch and that she was ungrateful and that any woman in her position would be acting way better than her. That's what he thought. To me, that's what he thought until he got Jane. You see? Until he got Jane. Then he saw that, like, okay, all of them gonna complain. Shit, I don't know what he thought. Anyway. And so then the defense, they basically got on the prosecution. Well, you know, it just is what it is. The prosecution got caught being a little sneaky because in some of these text messages, they cut off a part where Cassie said, you treated me like a hooker for 10 years. And then they just stopped it right there. But basically, the defense said, yeah, go ahead, read on. You see, Miss Preston Kirk, she had more to say, but it didn't help the defense in any kind of way because she said, I loved our freak outs when we both wanted it. So basically, she's saying she loved it when she wanted it, but y'all confirming that she basically didn't want it all the time. So, like, y'all, you know, Prosecution was like, yeah, go ahead, play yourself. Let me see if they're going to play themselves. And they did, you see, like some dumb ditties. They wanted the whole thing read out, which just backs up what the prosecution been saying. Like, these women wasn't, like, necessarily what's the word I'm looking for? Like, pinned down and forced, but they was finessed. You see, you finessed them into doing it. Which, you know, they got them in court. They feel like that's a crime. Now, after that, they got because right now ain't nobody on the stand. Nobody's on the stand. They just got text from Diddy and audio from Diddy and Cassie. Remind you, they wrapping up their case. And so then after that, Homeland Security came up there. It was Agent Joseph C. And he just came with more receipts. His job was to show, like, he had to go scraping and scrambling. Yeah, him. Shout out to that. He had to do some real investigating because his job, he worked for Homeland Security for 18 years. And his job was to basically, like, connect the dots, you know, even more in detail. So on so his job was to say, like, in May of 2021, there was a hotel stay one night, $3,000. It was Jane, Diddy, and such. You see, like, he was there to deliver the goods. You know what I'm saying? Outside of One Stop Them. Yeah, he had a different type of goods. You see, for the court, for the jurors and all. Yeah, for that. You see, for Diddy. Yeah, Diddy said he got something for your ass. And you might not like it. So he was connecting the dots to the hotel stays and who was in them stays in particular, as well as he had a chart for flights too. So, like, entertainers flying out to da 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 da. You see, he had the tea for real. He came with the tea. And then that was his job. And then bam, he dropped some tea before he left too. He also said that he has proof, okay? Proof that after Diddy did that video saying, you know, he apologized, he was in a dark spot, still looking like he was in a dark spot, talking to Cassie, you know, when he did the apology video saying I was fucked up. You see? Yeah, I said that. I said that. I said he looked fucked up. You see? How you gonna do a video talking about you was fucked up while you still fucked up? He should have took a day or two. You see, I said he just should have took a day or two. He just hopped right online. Them attorneys told him to hurry up and get online. But they didn't ask him what he had been doing that day. I said they just didn't sit down and talk about what he had been doing that day. But anyway, after that video, the man testified that Diddy still went on to do freak-offs. 3, to be exact. Now, I forgot when that video was. But I will say this. It did seem like he had slowed down. You know, to Diddy's credit, like Bobby V said. It did seem like he listened to Bobby V for a second. He slowed down on the freak-offs. That's what it looks like. But we don't know. Because it's been testimony in court that he started doing them at the house. His house, Jane house. Okay? So that's crazy. You know? Imagine you've been in New York, you've been in Miami, you know what I'm saying? You bow every day, you see. And so, like, you always on that side of town, but now all of a sudden, you can't really do freak offs like that. You ain't really supposed to be doing hotel or flights and stuff like that. Now you didn't carry your ass back to LA. You know what I'm saying? Like it's business. Like it's something serious for real to go to LA for to do freak offs. So now you in LA at your LA house, you barely there. Gotta call all your LA connects, you know what I'm saying? All just to be organized and in position to do a freak off. That's crazy. You know, it just is what it is. Like, I'm just like, why didn't it? You see, now I know for a fact that these women, people would complain about Diddy doing Rosa rugs, you know, but like they should have been talking to him about something else. I know Jane said that she told him he needed to go get him some S workers and work it out. But child, they should have been asking him like he needed help. You see, clearly he needed help. He should have been in some type of facility to manage, you know. I hate to say it, but want to do freak offs. It just is what it is. Like I don't know if there is a legal way for him to get that done. You see, so it just is what it is. Probably would have had to become a Roswell corn star on his own. He probably would have to be a corn star, y'all. And you know, I just feel like, yeah, you see, Brother Love wasn't trying to take that rap. Um, so he just continued, you know, he just continued doing it how he was doing it. Even though I feel like in his hearts of our hearts, he could feel like listen, if you start doing them in your house, like if you brought it to a halt to where you started doing it in your house, then you knew something. You see, you could feel something. You had something, some type of inkling that like it was wrong. You know, I don't know. I just don't know why he didn't get help. He seemingly needed help for that. I believe Janice and all of them knew. I don't think Janice is in court for the first time hearing about no freak off. Mm-mm. Honestly, honestly, I think if Janice would have sat down with KK, she could have got, this is what's going on with him. You know, it just is what it is. Like, this is what's going on with him. Period. Because, you know, people be knowing. You know what I'm saying? And people will, I feel like they'll ask. You know what I'm saying? Like, if something is going on with you see, I feel like the people around you who care about you know who to go to and try to get information. You see, and truth be told, I think that like, yeah, they probably didn't want to know. Like, just like they always say, people in power, people in positions, people with a little money be dealing with a lot of yes men, you know. But like somebody should say something. Even KK, even KK. To me, it probably would have been more. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But I think KK was even in a greater position. Like, to me, nobody was in a better position to talk some sense into Diddy outside of KK and Janice. As them two. You see, um, but KK even more so, I would say, because she was around, she was involved. That was her boss. You see, if your ship sink, then I go down too. You know, um, like some kind of way, you lost your way. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of way. You lost sight of what's important. You know what I'm saying? Um, it just is what it is. KK could have been a what? KK could have been a game changer in this situation. Diddy was either gonna do one or two things. Either he will really take her advice and like look into it and quit, or he was gonna ditch her. One of the two. But either way it go, at least she wouldn't be tied to all these crimes and stuff like what she going through now. You see what I'm saying? Drug in his mess. Somebody should have talked to Diddy. It just is what it is. Like, listen, it's just a conversation. It's a conversation. I know that's easier said than done, but at least their part would have been done. You see, like to me, it just is what it is. They sat back and let this man crash and burn. Shout out to Stephen Clark for jumping in my comments. Hey, Stephen. So he was connecting the dots. And like, yeah, they just got this man, if you ask me. They got him right where they want him, you know? And if you ask me, the whole baby oil stuff is being dragged in court by his attorneys. You know, his attorneys are like gun-ho and honed in on baby oil. It's not the prosecution, it's his attorneys. You know what I'm saying? And even though it's embarrassing to him, to me, they trying to mess with people's minds. Like, you know, this ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is so petty. You see, they're trying to use the baby oil to like make light of it almost. Like, this ain't what the feds are trying to say it is. This is just a freak nasty man who needs some type of help. You know, he doesn't need fed time. He need rehab. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where his team is going with it. We'll have to see if it works for them, because the judge did say that we coming up on closing arguments, y'all. Like, something about the jury will get whatever the jury need to get by Wednesday, and then by Thursday we could be hearing closing arguments. And I'm like, well, let's close it. Yeah, let's close it. You see, it is what it is. Let's shut this thing down. At first I was a little sad, but it is what it is. You know, it's time. This is what Diddy wanted. This is what Diddy paid for. You see, and I was like, okay. You see, I was a little impressed how fast he got the show on the road. It just is what it is. He said, see, you know, let's go. Y'all ready? Let's go. I was impressed by that. It just is what it is. And like, yeah. So he getting his speedy trial. And child, we just here for the ride. We just here for the ride. Like I said, at first I was a little sad that this is coming to an end, coming to a stop, coming to a halt. But at the end of the day, now I'm excited. Let's go. You see, let's get the verdict. Let's get to it. Like, it's either yay or nay, okay? You know that these folks, for real, are about to decide Diddy's fate. All right. As fast as next week, as soon as next week on Thursday. Like, yes, for those of you who don't, y'all know I'm fascinated by court. It just is what it is. Well, it's just one thing it's just something that gets my interest. I like court. It gets my gears grinded, if you will. So anyway, the prosecution gonna go up in there and be like, hey, this man is guilty. You see? And we've proved it. You know? And now it's time for y'all to get on y'all job. You see, just like Diddy told Jane. And now it's time for y'all to get on y'all job. Find this MNF guilty. You see? And yeah, we're gonna all go about our day and go about our way. And you see, that's what they're going to get up there and say. That's what they're supposed to get up and there and say. They're supposed to get up there and convince the jury. They're like, listen, We didn't prove this man is guilty. Y'all see this man is guilty. Convict Miss Pressing Curl. Mm. And you know, the defense job is to get up there and say the opposite. Like, listen, these folks ain't got nothing on him. You see, nothing. Let them go. Turn them loose today. You see. When y'all do y'all job, if and when y'all do y'all job, he can go home to his kids today. You see, y'all know he got a little baby, right? Y'all know he got a little baby. Give this father back to his kids. You see, like it's gonna be a showdown. Okay, it just is what it is. It's gonna go down, and it's gonna be a showdown allegedly on Thursday. Now, I can honestly say I hope they keep this. Shout out to that. I hope they keep this schedule because I'm looking forward to it. Like I hope closing arguments don't be Monday instead of next Thursday. You know what I'm saying? I really hope that they just go ahead and keep the schedule because it is what it is. Now we're about to be on verdict watch. You know, we looking for the verdict. Okay, it is what it is. They didn't came, they saw, they conquered. And now let me tell y'all what my final thoughts is. The final thoughts. When they said that Diddy, when they said that Brendan Paul never heard from Diddy again, meaning the day he with the jail, he lost his job too. You know what I'm saying? Let's be clear, he lost his job. They never contacted each other. Now, they never asked him if he reached out, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he was just like, you know what? That's enough. You know, like, jail time, probation, piss tests, drug classes. Like, you see, like I'm done with you, Diddy. Like this part I didn't sign up for type stuff. It is what it is. I thought it was interesting that like Diddy didn't want to talk to him ever again. I felt like he was hot. You see, like you hot. But that was crazy. Like Diddy treated him like he was hot, but Diddy, you the one that was hot though. Really. The feds was on to you. But they so calculated. I do feel like that they wanted Brendan, if that makes sense. Like they knew that like Diddy ain't gonna have nothing on him. Somebody else is. Let's go ahead and you see, so we can get this immunity. Like they didn't do nothing but work him out. They worked him out. And honestly, he could have went either way with it. He could have told them, I'm not cooperating with y'all. To hell with it. You know, he could have. He could have taught them to go head on. Now his charges wouldn't have been dismissed. But I still, you see, he the right complexion. You see, he wasn't gonna do no jail time behind Diddy. Probation, yes. Jail time, no. So he could have really taught them you know what I'm saying. So yeah, you know they kind of, I'm not gonna say they played him, but kind of sort of. You know what I'm saying? Because I see how he is. I see the way he move. He would deal with Diddy again. I feel like he would. I also feel like he wasn't in court to like say too much or do too much because he seems like he wants to keep a low profile. You know, he seems like the lifestyle that he was in with Diddy, he probably still into it now. You know what I'm saying? Meaning just, you know, getting a little something, something. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then. To feel a little something, something. Every now and then again. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people is like that. Let's keep it real. You see? But he seemed like he's still in that lane a little bit. So like, yeah, I think that like honestly, he wouldn't mind still having Diddy as a connect. A connect. Regardless to what type of connect it is. Whether it's just to say, hey, I know Diddy, I got his number, I can call him. You know what I'm saying? For anything I might need him for, music industry wise, or even just like, hey, a reference to, get on at another six-figure type of job or music industry type of job. Because remind you, he did testify that like he didn't want to be involved with the freak out stuff and stuff like that. He wanted to deal with music and stuff like that. He wanted to really be an assistant, but that's it was just a small portion of the other stuff that he had to do. But yes, overall, I did a poll and I was asking today, like, who's winning? Is it Diddy or the feds? Y'all jump in my comments and let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Diddy or the feds are going to win this case? Let me go ahead and tell y'all what I think. I think the feds take it. It just is what it is. I think the feds are taking it. I do. Um, Although I can say that, like, in some instances, the case is weaker than others, because it just is what it is. These people wanted real crimes. You know what I'm saying? From Diddy. And I hate to say it like that, but I would say, like, bad crimes, like they were hoping that people would testify that Diddy was walking around with, like with the man on. Like, you remember when Nino Brown had that man walking through the projects butt naked, like butt naked. You see, like that's the type of stuff that some people, was hoping for as far as this case goes. But no, it was just a little bit more. Is it blue collar, white collar? I never really got into that type of stuff, but I feel like that's what it was. Remind you, like, everybody case ain't the same. So like, no, Diddy was not hosting that we know of. No, Diddy was not hosting El Chapo meetings with El Chapo from his Miami home. Um, but he was doing other, crimes. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I know that's right, Magic Maddie. Thank you. I appreciate that. Shout out to you for letting me know too. But like, yeah, like everybody. So it's like, it's okay, like for instance, wire fraud. You know what I'm saying? Or even, I'll take it a step further, fraud in general. Fraud ain't no big glamorized stuff like that, but like it's still people in the feds for that. You know what I'm saying? You get me? So it's not like people was looking to hear that Diddy was moving birds and chickens and penguins and stuff like that on his jet, but no, it was more stuff like getting illegal prescriptions. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know, still federal crimes, just not all. You know what I'm saying? It's like people looking for Diddy to be connected to El Chapo, in order for him to have to go feds. So, like, yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. I honestly think that, like, people are looking for more crime, more crime, more crime, and it hasn't, you see, it just ain't that. In other words, like they're looking for these huge, big cases and allegations, but it was like on a smaller scale. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I get from it. But I do think that the feds have proven their case. It just is what it is. I'll take it a step further. I felt like the feds proved their case way when Cassie was up there. Um, they didn't even need Jane. They didn't. They didn't even need Jane. I don't even really know why they using Jane. I know that's right, Lethal Scopes. Shout out to that, and shout out to you for jumping in my comments. Um, are you a YouTuber? Because if you are, I wanna give you a shout out because you always in my comments, and I appreciate that. But like, yeah, um, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm starting to lose my train of thought. I think my stomach, you see, it's starting to talk to my brain, and so like they communicating right now. Just is what it is. So it's messing with my thoughts. You see, and all of this data. Y'all know I just got a whole lot of data in my mind. So anyway, yeah, overall though, I do think the Feds is winning. I do think the Feds are going to win it. You ask me why, and I say, okay, because it's the Feds. You know, it's just the Feds. And so, with that being said though, I wouldn't call their case weak either. Okay. Well, shout out to that. Everybody, y'all make sure y'all go check out. And don't forget to tell us what type of content you make. Okay, that would be cool. And helpful. But like, yeah, y'all make sure y'all go show Lethal Scopes. Okay, some love. All right, for being a real one and a true one. And always showing me love. Okay, I like that. I like that. So shout out to that. But like, yeah, I do think the Feds are winning it. I do. I do. Um, and like I said, I think they're gonna win it because they have proven their case to me. To me, they've proven their case. Now again, they have a long list of things that you have to do, okay, to get a RICO. And Diddy has done a lot of the stuff on that list. Okay, it just is what it is. So that's why I feel like, they've proven that. Now the S Raffican was proven too, to me. It just is what it is. 100%. See, I feel like the S Raffican is the strongest. Okay, it just is what it is. I feel like the S Raffican is so hard to be denied. It just is what it is. Like that is this is just solid. You see, mm, mm. Like the song say, solid as a rock, solid as a damn rock. Mm. I feel like they did that. It's just all that other stuff. It's just all that other stuff where I could see some people feeling like, but again, I don't have that list in front of me. That's the thing. When I be taking my notes, I be getting rid of them. And I hate that. Now I hate that. Because I feel like, well, dang, I just threw away all my data. So I might have a little bit in my head, but no, there's no way. You see, like there's no way. Now, if I would have kept my notes though, like I would have certain things. Like for instance, it's been I think the prosecution do not quote me. But I think the prosecution has put up at least 30 people on the stand. Like I had all of their names in my notes. That's why I threw my notes away. It just is what it is. I had names, I had testimony. I should have kept that stuff. It is what it is. I guess I thought I wouldn't never need it again. But it would be cool, you see, to have it and be able to reference what was said. So yeah, it's annoying. But at least I went live about it, So if I wanted to, I could go back and, in other words, I have digital copies, you see, of my notes. But like, yeah, overall, I think the Feds have done a damn good job presenting this case. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. I do. I don't think they overpromised. You know, I don't think they tried to over deliver. You know, I don't think that they made themselves look bad while trying to make Diddy look bad. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to paint him out to be a monster or something like that. I don't think they did that. I think they just really just came with facts. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, like TLC said, I think the prosecution and all of them, I feel like they was damn good at just sticking to the stuff and being actual and factual. You see? And with that, I feel like they wasn't playing with Diddy, and they did not come to play with Diddy. Period. Point blank. You see? Like, at all. They was ready. They was ready for Miss Pressing Girl. It just is what it is. And they was like, you know, whatever. So, like, yeah, we're gonna present this, and y'all go ahead and y'all come whatever y'all gonna come with, you know. But like, I think they did good. It just is what it is. I think they did good. Again, I think when people hear that other stuff, them other charges, then they like, well, where is it at? Like they want this big old mob style type of story, you know what I'm saying, tied to the RICO or whatnot. But like, no, the feds are saying like, listen, okay, we do this every day. You know what I'm saying? A RICO can be so small of a charge, you know, tied to this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't explain it, but it's organized crime is what they be looking for. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. They looking for organized crime. Okay. And according to them, Diddy was committing it. It just is what it is. According to them, Diddy was doing it. You know, and I can't say 100% that I've sat in and listened, and I feel like that they have, you know, but I have listened to some stuff, and I do feel like, you know, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense why they would be, you know, he would be in trouble as far as his company goes. Because this is the thing. If you let them tell it, he was using, see, that's what I'm saying. I listening to them, I realized where Diddy was going wrong in a lot of different things. Like, for instance, this is one of the ways that Diddy was going wrong. Diddy is a very wealthy man, right? Very wealthy man, extremely wealthy man. But the thing is, he has a lot of money to play in and play with. With that being said, the feds, okay, are alleging that Diddy was playing with his business money. You know? And like, that's their world. You see, they're into that. You know what I'm saying? They look into that type of stuff. Not us. We don't know. You know? So we don't know whether he's guilty of that or not. But if you let the feds tell it, he is. You see? So then when they bring it to me, the only way that I can slice it and dice it and decipher it and understand it for me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, break that thing down, you see? Yeah, like a LB. It's just to say that, like, oh, well, that's where he went wrong. It seems like he should have left his business and his personal. You see, I do feel like regardless, they was gonna still have his ass in court. It just is what it is. Either way it go, he was about to come to court because they saying it was a crime. But I don't think they would have had the RICO, if that makes sense. You see, it's their job to say the crimes that have been committed. It's not our job to say, y'all lying. Because we don't, how we know? How we know? You know what I'm saying? It's like going to the doctor's office today and telling the doctor he wrong about what he telling you and telling him how to do his job. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? We can't do that. Like, as much as, like, some people might want to fight for Diddy and some people might think that Diddy is being done wrong, you still got to have your facts together. You see? So, like, you can't tell these people that they wrong if you don't really know that they wrong. You see? And, like, for me, my understanding is Diddy started playing with his business money when he should have just literally strictly, when I say strictly, I mean at all times, only been using from his personal money. You know what I'm saying? But it's again, it's confusing because he was just, yeah, he was fucking up. It just is what it is. He was, like I was saying, it got muddy. It got muddy. Because he was even using his employees to do stuff. You see what I'm saying? So you using business money and employees to do stuff that's tied to your crime. That's where it got murky and muddy. He should have had personal. That personal, business. And they probably wouldn't have been able to have him in court like they got him today. I mean, like, legally, he probably would have been able to find some type of loopholes. And I take it a step further. I don't think he would have got a RICO possibly at all had he just had personal stuff going on. But I feel like that's hard to do. You know what I'm saying? But he should have. He should have. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. He should have. Like, he, instead of having his assistants go clean up them hotel rooms, he should have paid Stevie J. You know, I don't know if they could have looked at that like an employee just because he paid them. I think it could have been more like, my friend did me a favor. You see, like, he should have had personal. And I take it a step further. He had fun doing the freak off. He should have cleaned the freak off himself. He should have cleaned it up himself. See? That was a mistake too. Having them people clean it up. People that's employed by you, working for you, on the clock, cleaning up your freak off. He should have cleaned it up himself. You see? Like, he made a lot of mistakes. It's the Fed's job to capitalize off of that. You see? Like, they be like, oh, okay. It's their job to see where you made a mistake and where you went wrong. The only thing is they don't just tell you where you went, what you did wrong and where you went wrong. They be like, but that was a crime and you got to go to jail for it. You see? It's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's, you know, it's messed up, but like, it is what it is. I think they feel like, Diddy, you got all this money, you should have known. Yeah, like whose song is that? Monica? Like Monica said, you should have known better. Yeah. Shout out to that. It just is what it is. You know, at this big grown age, you know, you should have known better. You know what I'm saying? I guess some stuff you don't just get to say, oh, I didn't know. My bad. You know what I'm saying? I know the IRS don't work like that, and apparently the feds don't either. Okay? So shout out to that. Hey. But yes, y'all, yes. Basically, that's it. That's what happened in court. You know, like, no word on who's coming up next. I feel like Diddy ain't got nobody like that. They was acting like the defense might call up Cassie's husband. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't got them calling up Alex, but they might, you know, because they might. Um, because they definitely was acting like he could be on their witness list, you know, to be called. So, child, but it's a mess. It's a mess. It's interesting. It's been interesting the whole time, but like the truth of the matter is, it's coming to a head now. You see, yeah, we didn't got to the end. We are getting to the end, my friend, and I'm happy for it. It is what it is. I'm happy for it. I'm happy for Diddy. I'm happy for his family. I'm happy for Cassie them, everybody involved in the case, you know? Because I do feel like it's been a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like we at home, we've been feeling certain stuff. So I can only imagine how they feel, you know? Even Diddy. I know he probably scared as shit, you know, but like it is what it is. He there now. This is nothing that he can run from. His running days is gone. He should been and ran. You see, to me, you can't do this type of stuff and stick around. Like the hell. Anyway, uh, Leroy, who, if any, celebrities have testified? If any other celebrities will testify? You just never know. You never know. They'll only testify if Diddy team thinks that that's going to help him in some type of way. You know, I really ain't got none of them testifying. Honestly, this is all crazy and it's a lot. I feel like it's crazy. A lot of stuff that never came up. I'm surprised it never came up. You know what I'm saying? But like, let me just say this: stuff that came up made you wonder. Like, for instance, the whole freak out thing, right? Now that we know that freak offs exist, right? And that Diddy liked them and he set them up and stuff like that. I can't help but wonder, is there anybody else? I can't help but wonder if like French Montana did freak offs. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't help but wonder if French did freak offs. Like, now it will make so much more sense. How everybody's on French head talking about you Diddy boyfriend and you Diddy boyfriend and you Diddy boyfriend, you Diddy boyfriend, boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? That would make more sense. They're like, no, he wasn't really doing nothing with Diddy though. He just did freak offs. You know what I'm saying? Which that's just what Diddy watch you. Be intimate with somebody. I could see, you know what I'm saying, that yeah, I could see that. But not, I'm not saying like they did 100%. I'm just saying like now that this information has come out, like that's the type of stuff that goes through our head. You know what I'm saying? Because I could see that. Because one thing about it, French is like, whatever French is. I don't know what French is. I forgot what he is. Moroccan or something like that. But anyway, y'all know that like people from overseas, they, you know, like they just different. You know what I'm saying? They're a little different. Um, and I think it's for different reasons, but honestly, I think overseas they are way more what's the word I'm looking for? Strict, you know, about like being gay. You know what I'm saying? So like overseas, you probably could be beheaded for being gay, you know, or uh it's probably said that off the rip. If we find out that you gay, well, you will be disowned from your family. Don't ever come back here. Don't ever come back here. Don't ever come around here. Don't ever contact me. Don't contact your grandma. Don't contact your auntie. Don't contact your cousins. Don't even contact your kids. They don't want to hear from your ass either. Mm. Like I think that like that's how they begin treated and stuff like that. So with that being said, I think it is extremely hard, extremely, extremely, extremely hard to get like somebody like French to do something like that. You see, and when I say something like that, I mean hanky panky with another fella. Okay. Um. So like, yeah, I could see French Montana possibly doing a FO. You know what I'm saying? For Diddy. That's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Just like that's the furthest I will go. I'm not finna let you touch me. I'm not finna let another man touch me. I'm not finna touch you. And I'm not finna touch another man. You know what I'm saying? But I will, you know, do this. You know what I'm saying? I hit this. I hit something, you know what I'm saying, in front of you. It's nothing. And I'll take it a step further too. It makes me wonder if Cassie was ever involved with French. You know what I'm saying? Because they had to coexist. They was around each other at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like that song say, at the same damn time. They was. And people used to always say that, like, it was, you know, some type of issue amongst the two. See, like, I don't know why his name didn't come up in court, though. I don't know. I don't know. But you would think it would. You would think the people like French Montana name would come up. You would think the people like Mary J. Blige's name will come up. But this is the thing. One thing I realize about courts, though, court likes to deal with straight facts. You know, so Cassie would have had to say something like, he drugged me down the hallway. And it was a room full of people. Who was the people? French Montana. You know what I'm saying? Like, she would have literally had to, but again, still, I cannot believe that, like, some of these people names didn't come up. But, like, yeah. French and Diddy were very, 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 very close. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, now I'm like, okay, maybe that's what that was. And even somebody like Meek Mill too. You know? But then I take it a step further too, though. Maybe it's possible that, like, Diddy just had regular relationships. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's possible too. You know, because, like, other than that, how would you ever have a real friend? You know what I'm saying? Like a real friend that you can just talk to and be regular with. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just said the French Montana thing though because they love to call French Diddy boyfriend back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That was just a rumor. You know what I'm saying? That, like, French couldn't get away from. In fact, I don't know what ever slowed that down. I mean, maybe they stopped being around. I don't know. Because I don't even remember French being around Diddy that much recently. Like, I know they were really, really close around Cassie time. I don't know how it's been now, you know? But yeah, I thought it was interesting as heck. The French name didn't come up in court. I'll also take it a step further though. French Montana was being weird. He was seemingly being weird since this has been going on. Him, Ellen DeGeneres too. Like, they all been like overseas and out of the country and stuff like that. Um, didn't French get what? French has been like out of the country, which has been crazy. Like, we ain't even been hearing from French Montana. So I'll tell you one thing. If French try to do this big grand, like, start coming back out and around after Diddy, child, I don't know. Because it's like, I can't explain it. It's one thing to lay low. It's another thing to do how he been doing, though. You know what I'm saying? They all been laying low. But, like, even Mary J. Blige still be doing stuff. She be doing shows. She haven't left the country. You know what I'm saying? Mary J. Blige still be on Twitter. You know, social media presence. Like, you know. But French just abandoned his celebrity. Yeah, for real. He kind of been on a social media cleanse. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me. For real. And so with that being said, like, go on, take the whole gear out, French. You know, once Diddy trial is over, do not pop your ass back up. Talking about some hand. French. We don't want to hear that. We do not want to hear that. Cause like, yeah. You could have stood in the paint. You know what I'm saying? Like people like Meek Mill. Yeah, from Philly. Meek ain't got nowhere to run to, you know. Shoot. He just had to deal with whatever was being said. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy and it's funny that French and a lot of these other people was just running. You know what I'm saying? Running and gunning overseas. It just is what it is. But I mean, even Jane said she did that though. Even the Jane lady said that she been overseas. And I'm like, I wonder how that's working for her. You know, Jane probably is running from 50 Cent. This is it what it is. She probably is running from 50 Cent. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I wonder how that's gonna work for her too, because eventually she gonna have to address 50, you know. And then too, I'll take it a step further. Like, I wonder if she allowing 50 to see his baby right now. You know, or are you on the run with the baby? You know what I'm saying? Overseas. Like, I have so many questions for that. Just regarding how they doing custody right now and all of that. Because I know she did say she was out of the country, you know, which I feel like that's something that a lot of them is using right now. But again, stay gone, you know, at least for a little while longer. Like, if do not, please do not. You know what I'm saying? And that go for a lot of them, all of them, even Stevie J. They just been being so weird, you know. It's one thing to be zoomed in, locked in, paying attention. We all are, you know. But like I said, to be missing in action, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's totally different. But anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all think about everything. I will be back on. So we got court on Monday. Then we talk about it in the wee hours of Tuesday morning. So I'll be back on Tuesday morning. I will see y'all then. Okay. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see everybody on my next video. Bye, y'all. Have a good day.